Welcome everybody, Souldin of the Grin brothers here, and it's time for another episode of Tea Time. Now then, for today's tea, I believe I've got the last of my Teas of the World box set of teas from Wittards to try here. And it is a jasmine tea. I'm having it without milk because it's what's recommended on the box, trying it without milk, but I think I'll be recording another tea time later today, so if you find out that the other tea time is jasmine tea with milk, that's the one that I've recorded in this same day. Anyway, jasmine flowers are picked at dusk when their scent is headiest? Not heaviest, headiest? Okay, headiest. And then layered with long leaves of fine green tea. Overnight, the tea breathes in their perfume, capturing the petals' powerful sweetness to give our blend its full yet soft aroma. The result is a tea of beauty and elegance that will captivate your senses. I've got to admit, it does smell very nice. It's like a candle. It's just such a nice smell to it. So, it's doing wonders for my sense of smell, which is not a sense I actually have used very often. It's a pretty poor sense for me. In any case, today's tea time has the topic of which has nothing to do with jasmine tea. I'd have to think of a very specific game in order to think of a game that has something to do with jasmine tea. But no, today's tea time, I think I'll be going with the tale of 25 years of Sonicdin, which is an allusion to the fact that it's 25 years of Sonic the Hedgehog now. The Sonicdin part is because I've actually talked about Sonic 3 times within these tea times, at least specifically focusing on the subject of Sonic the Hedgehog series 3 times. There are actually 2 of my earliest videos. The first one I believe was just titled Sonicdin, and the second one was Sonicdin Sequel. In any case, I'll give you a link below in the summary. However, I will warn you that they were some of my earlier tea times, so they may be a bit rougher, a little bit harder to hear. They were like tea time 7 or 8. They were like within the first 10 tea times, so they're not perfect, but I'm still proud of all my old work, and I think I've done a decent job with it, and I think I've done a decent job progressing with my skills in regards to editing and sort of organising these tea times. Well, not organising these times, but as in actually doing them. I'm still as disorganised as ever. But yeah, I just figured I should talk about Sonic for a little bit, given it's 25 years of Sonic. But I didn't want to have it as just a general topic of Sonic the Hedgehog with my thoughts of the whole series, because I've kind of already done that with the 2 Sonicdin, Tea Time videos. So here I've just decided I'll do 2 things. First off, I'll be sharing my thoughts on Sonic Project 2017 and Sonic Mania, the 2 upcoming Sonic games. To celebrate his 25th anniversary in the year of his 26th anniversary. Yeah, companies are doing that a lot now. Team 17 are doing it with Worms as well. They're celebrating, I think, like the 20th Worms anniversary in its 21st anniversary. But yeah, to each their own. And following from that, I'll be doing a list of my top 6 favourite Sonic games with honourable mentions. When I previously talked about Sonic games, I just kind of talked about them as a whole, and I never really sort of like listed them or such. And I've got to tell you, it was very hard coming up with the 6th entry on my list. That's why there are honourable mentions. In any case, let's start off the 25 years of Sonicdin with my thoughts on the 2 upcoming Sonic games. Now, for Sonic Project 2017, I'm interested that it's coming out for the Nintendo NX. Hopefully that thing will get a title soon. Hopefully that thing will get revealed soon so I can finally talk about it. I don't want to talk about mere just sort of rumours at this point within my own tea times. Though if you want to hear my thoughts on the NX rumours and want to discuss with me, or want to discuss with someone who's very good at talking about NX rumours and such and bringing up good discussions, I suggest you check out, I think it's Alex Osborne's channel. Maybe I'll give that a link in the summary below as well, but I've been discussing with him about the NX quite a bit there, so feel free to check that out. In any case, back to the topic of Sonic Project 2017, it's coming out for PS4, Xbox One and NX. I think it might be coming out for PC as well, but I'm not sure. It, from the trailer, didn't show any gameplay, but it looks to effectively be a Sonic Generations 2. which is a terrible thing for me because I did not like Sonic Generations 2. I felt that the Hedgehog engine Sonic gameplay didn't really blow my mind in terms of how it can differ from the classic Sonic gameplay, and I feel I don't know, I just never really liked it too much. I didn't think that a lot of the remade stages were all that well designed. I remember getting really frustrated on, I think it was Sonic Adventures stage with Sonic. I kept like zooming off an edge, and I really disliked the Hedgehog engine gameplay within Sonic Generations. I felt it was at its best in Sonic Colors, but I still prefer a lot of the other styles of Sonic gameplay over the Hedgehog engine, where I feel it relies too much on simply dashing forward at top speeds. Yeah, I did, and I didn't like the whole, I feel it's just a weird plot point to bring back classic Sonic, because it's like, well, that's just an inferior version of Sonic. Not in terms of the games, I mean, but as in, like, in terms of a plot, bringing back your past self, unless you yourself are, like, incredibly old and have gone weaker or something, your past self is going to be worse at everything you can actually do now. So it makes no sense to rely upon your past self. Also, if your past self dies, your current self would die. So, yeah, the plot points of Sonic Generations didn't make sense. The plot was light as heck, which was my major criticism to Sonic Colors. So seeing it continue with Sonic Generations wasn't exactly something I was thrilled about. And yeah, I just did not like Sonic Generations at all. It's easily one of my least liked Sonic games of all. And to see that they're really making the Sonic Project 2017 is effectively looking to be a sequel at this point. Haven't seen any gameplay, but Classic Sonic is back again, so I'm not sure what else I'm supposed to conclude from the trailer they showed. Does not fill me with any confidence. I guess I also didn't like the sort of like much darker tone and the whole Join the Resistance thing. I'd like to think that that's in reference to the Sonic the Comics Resistance, but it's probably more in reference to a Sonic Saturday morning cartoon or Sonic Comics in Archie Comics sort of style of Resistance, and I was not a fan of the Archie Comics. Always Sonic the Comic for me. But, I guess the only thing I really sort of enjoyed seeing from that trailer was the irony to the fact that Sonic Colors title was in black and white and grey for the trailer, which is kind of hilarious. I am more interested in the other Sonic game though, Sonic Mania. A little annoyed that it's apparently not coming to any Nintendo platform, either Wii U or an X, but it's it looks pretty cool. I really like the look of the sprites, and I like the idea of like remix stages as well as new stages, and I like the fact that it's like classic Sonic gameplay with Sonic, Tails and Knuckles. I am a little concerned about it though in some areas. For starters, I feel that a lot of people tend to kind of misrepresent what the first three Sonic games did in terms of gameplay style, and I feel that sometimes they, sort of teeter away from Sonic 1, 2 and 3 styles and go more for Sonic CD, where the levels are absolutely massive. And honestly, I'm not a fan of how Sonic CD did it. I think Sonic 3 kind of struck the perfect balance in terms of how big the levels should be and how much you can sort of explore to it. But Sonic CD I felt went too big, and I'm kind of a little worried that it might go that path. There were flaws to the original trilogy of Sonic games, and I kind of feel that it's possible they might not expand upon or improve some of these flaws whilst they're at it. The thing that led me to believe that, trying to phrase this right, is that they're sticking only to the three characters of Sonic, Tails and Knuckles, where I figured it'd be better if they also had at least the Sonic Advanced characters of Amy and Cream, because these Sonic Advanced games were pretty good. I feel Sonic Advance 2 and 3 suffered from the Sonic CD syndrome of making the stages a bit too big. Sonic 2's problem was that I came across the music stage and Sonic can't fly and there's tons of bottomless pits. But I feel that the concept of introducing newer characters, each with their unique abilities, having Amy and Cream playable, would have worked perfectly fine being implemented back into the classic Sonic games. So it's a little disappointing that they're sticking with only the three classic Sonic characters, where I feel you could do a lot more if you introduce some of the older characters into the mix with each of their unique gameplay styles, whilst structuring the game in terms of a Sonic 1, 2 and 3 gameplay style. But on the whole, it does interest me and appeal to me a hell of a lot more than what Sonic Project 2017 does. And so I am looking forward to Sonic Mania, and given the sort of systems it's said to be announced for so far, I guess it'll be downloaded onto my Xbox One. Which, to be fair, I do like the Xbox One controller, and I at least have a working external hard drive for that so I can actually download the goddamn thing. Whereas I've still yet to find one for my Wii U. Still looking. But yeah, whilst it's not like sort of blowing me away in terms of excitement, it is something that does interest me, and so I'll definitely be giving Sonic Mania a look. So those are my thoughts on Sonic Project 2017 and Sonic Mania. Feel free to share your thoughts below, and I'll be sure to respond and all that. So then, moving on for the second half. I was hoping to get this done in like 15 minutes, but I don't think I will. Tea's a little bit too hot, so I can't drink that yet. The second half of this video will be my top 6 favourite Sonic games. As I said, I've mentioned just about every Sonic game I've played before in 2 previous tea times, but I never really listed them. But this is my list, and the 6th game was ever so hard to choose. But let's begin. Number 6, Sonic Advance. Which might have been pretty easy to guess it would be on my list, given I did mention the Sonic Advance series. But Sonic Advance is the only one of the 3 Sonic Advance games on this list. It's my favourite of them from what I've played so far. I haven't played too much of Sonic Advance 2, and my Sonic Advance 3 playtime was a bit scattered, but I did kind of play through each level. I think the problem was Sonic Advance 3... as far as I'm aware, yeah, we only had 1 copy of that, whereas Sonic Advance, we actually had 2 copies. One for me and for Rafi. But Sonic Advance kind of managed to capture what was good about the 2D Sonic gameplay whilst expanding upon it. I think there's 1 or 2 sort of areas it wasn't quite as good, like the level design wasn't perfect, but I feel it was like pretty darn good, and I feel like the sort of uniqueness of each character was struck really well. Overall, it's just a really good game, and a really good sort of 2D Sonic game without being kind of too nostalgic about the 2D Sonic games. It tries to evolve the formula, I feel, in a way, with the 2D Sonic games, and it tries to not so much be a tribute to the 2D Sonic games, but it... You know, when you get certain games made which feel like they're just trying to throw back to the original games, Sonic Advance doesn't feel like a throwback. It just feels like this would have been what would be the next game for like a 32-bit system. And it works really well. It's a lot of fun. And it's also got a Chow Garden feature which ties in really well to Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. And I really like playing through the game with all 4 characters, Sonic, Tails, Knuckles and Amy. And Amy was really different. It was really unique playing as Amy through the game because she doesn't play anything like the other characters. So, yeah, some nice bosses, a nice overall game. Plot is, of course, always pretty darn simple, but that's how a lot of the 2D Sonic games were. But it was really nice and I really enjoyed it. So, Sonic Advance is number 6 on my list. Speaking of its connection to Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, though, number 5 on my list is Sonic Adventure 2. I'm not sure I have a specific preference between Sonic Adventure 2 Battle or Sonic Adventure 2 on the Dreamcast. I feel there's like 2 factors to take into account. I think Sonic Adventure 2 Battle on the GameCube is probably overall the better game because it's easier to access a lot of the stuff. I feel like it was just easier to, you know, do the Chow Garden, and it was easier to do the Versus mode. As far as I never even once was able to access the Versus mode in Sonic Adventure 2. For the Dreamcast. But on the other hand, I feel Sonic Adventure 2 on the Dreamcast kind of runs better. I feel like the camera works a lot better. You know, I feel like the Sonic Adventure games, when ported to the other systems, their cameras don't work as well. I mean, the Sonic Adventure games never had brilliant cameras, but in regards to their GameCube ports, I feel that they, you know, kind of like maybe the engine of the game wasn't quite as used to the GameCube. I feel the Dreamcast was kind of tailored in a way where the Sonic Adventure games worked perfectly on them, but the GameCube wasn't sort of designed to accommodate a Sonic game naturally. But I do think they did a pretty good job of it. So in any case, regardless of whether I'm talking about the GameCube or Dreamcast version, Sonic Adventure 2 is my 5th favourite Sonic game, and I had a wonderful time with it. The gameplay's great. All of the gameplay, Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Eggman, Shadow, and Rogue. There are some sort of like nitpicks. I think the Tails and Eggman gameplay, which is kind of a successor to the E102 Gamma gameplay, isn't as good as the E102 Gamma gameplay. And likewise, I feel the Knuckles and Rogue stages in Sonic Adventure 2 aren't as good as the Knuckles stages from Sonic Adventure. On the other hand, I feel the Sonic and Shadow stages are better than the Sonic stages in Sonic Adventure. I feel the core Sonic gameplay of Sonic the Hedgehog was improved a lot with Sonic Adventure 2. But on the hot, and I really like the story. The story's pretty darn good in my opinion for a Sonic game and all that. I was always interested in it. Back then, I did quite like Shadow the Hedgehog. Felt he was a very interesting character, and there was a lot of sort of lore with Gun and all that. Really expanded the world. Like the sort of, I preferred the way Sonic Adventure did it, and you played as each separate character. But I think in this way the story is set up for Sonic Adventure 2, having it split between the heroes and the villains was a good idea. So yeah, generally I just really like Sonic Adventure 2. And the Chow Garden has to be mentioned because the Chow Garden was absolutely brilliant. Chow Garden was absolutely phenomenal in that game and is one of the major reasons I love the game to bits. Heck, it's probably the main reason Raffi loves the game to bits. I think he actually has said it's pretty much the main reason he loves the game to bits. But the Chows were such a wonderful feature. It was nice in Sonic Adventure, but Sonic Adventure 2 just kind of expanded on that so much. It was the most improved feature easily, and they're just such wonderful things. I think any future Sonic game will be significantly improved just by bringing the Chow Garden, because once you've completed the game, effectively the main reason to keep coming back and playing it is for your Chows. And both me and Raffi, went back to play our Sonic Adventure 2 games multiple times simply because of those Chows. Raising different Chows, having them fight, racing, trying to get the Hero and Devil Chows. I was actually the first one in my family to get the Devil Chow, which is wonderful for me. Oh, this is really going on longer than I was expecting it to. Number 4 then is Sonic and Sega AllStars Racing. I got my copy on the Xbox 360. As much as I'm a big fan of the Nintendo Wii, I went for the 360 version because it had Banjo-Kazooie playable, which was pretty cool. Admittedly, I never actually really used Banjo-Kazooie. I ended up playing as Tails and Oppa Oppa primarily, but primarily Oppa Oppa once I unlocked him. So, but I first started off playing as Tails, and I occasionally play as my avatar as well. But Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing is, I think I'd say it's actually my favourite game during the 360 and PS3. If I count both systems, Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing is my favourite. Not when comparing it to Wii games. I have a lot of games I really like on the Wii, but it is my favourite video game console. But for Xbox 360 and PS3, and specifically Xbox 360 here, because that's the version I played, Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing was my favourite game on those systems. It just plays absolutely phenomenal. It's got some great tracks. The character selection is absolutely amazing with really cool super moves. The items are kind of generic, but they're also a lot of fun to use. And I just feel the game controls ever so well. Like, it's my second favourite racing game of all time, and I love the game to absolute bits. Controls well, tracks are great, the graphics looks wonderful, and the characters are diverse and showcase so much of Sega's history. And I guess that's all I can really say, because number 3 moves on to its sequel. Sonic All-Stars Racing Transformed, no idea why they removed the Sega part to it, is my favourite racing game of all time. And although I feel the character roster is not as good as in Sonic All-Stars and Sega All-Stars Racing, because they removed a lot of characters like Oppa Oppa and basically every one of Raffi's characters aside from Amy Rose, all those went, and they kept Shadow over keeping Big, which is ridiculous. Like, sure, you remove the motorbikes, there's no reason for Shadow to be in the game. Big, on the other hand, is absolutely amazing and should forever remain in every Sonic game ever. So the character roster did annoy me in that aspect, but they also introduced some pretty cool ones. They had Joe Musashi, I believe, from Shinobi. They had some really odd ones like Wreck-It Ralph. And was it Dania Patrick? They had Device from Skies of Arcadia and Gilius Thunderhead from Golden Axe. And they finally put Knights and Riala in the game. Absolutely terrifying me. and Raffi in particular. Hey, if you want to see some Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing, Sonic All-Stars Racing Transformed gameplay, we have actually recorded a Grin Brothers mini of it, so I guess I'll include that in the comments below. There's going to be a lot of links in the comments below. Feel free to check them out. But it was the game I purchased for my Wii U. I naturally got Nintendo Land with my Wii U, but I also got Sonic All-Stars Racing Transformed to go along with it. And Sonic All-Stars Racing Transformed was the first game I played, and whilst it isn't my favourite Wii U game, it's easily a 9 out of 10, easily one of my absolute favourite games on the system. Top 10, definitely. And I love it to bits because of its huge improvements in gameplay. Its tracks are absolutely amazing. The character roster might not be as good. The super moves might basically be non-existent. But the tracks, oh gosh, the transforming mechanic means that no track ever feels the same as you're going through it. Occasionally you repeat a track, but there's just the diversity in playing a single track. It feels like to memorise it, you can't just memorise how you went about one lap. You have to memorise it all three. And sometimes the tracks go on for longer than three. Sometimes they're just... It's just incredible. The design of the tracks. Every race just feels glorious to go through. And I love the game to absolute bits. Kind of a, not very detailed analysis of why I love it, but also the mission variety, like the story mode, well, what that counts as a story mode, it's basically like a campaign where you do various trials, you do certain races and harder difficulties, and you do various challenges like taking on a tank with a load of missiles, and it's just a really cool sort of like mission objective and a nice bit of variety. Okay, oh wow, this is really going for way too long. Number 2, Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Easily my favourite of the 2D Sonic games. And it's also one of my favourite Mega Drive games. I believe got a couple ahead of it. Maybe just one. But Sonic the Hedgehog 3 is a Mega Drive game I absolutely love to bits. It's, as I said, I feel struck the perfect balance between having an area which is big and capable of being explored and sort of traversed in different ways, whilst also keeping it focused and not making it so that it's hard to find out where you're going or where you need to go. Sonic CD, I felt you were kind of all over the place. Sonic the Hedgehog 3, I always knew where I needed to go, but I also knew that there were some areas I could stop and explore for a bit. I think it perfectly captured being able to choose to run fast and being rewarded for running fast, whilst also being able to choose to go slowly and being rewarded for going slowly. This is even just carrying it without the Sonic & Knuckles adapter, but of course it's just one of the best games ever with the Sonic & Knuckles adapter. But even on its own, it's a glorious game with really well designed levels and the ability to play as a co-op, which I really loved about the Sonic Mega Drive games, being able to play co-op in so many of them. Or you can choose to play as Sonic and Tails on their own, and Tails can fly everywhere. And for Sonic's advantage, he can bubble bounce and with a bubble shield and shoot forth as a fireball, and he has like a slash attack, and it's just a really cool game. It introduced Knuckles, it looks beautiful, and it's easily my favourite of the 2D Sonic games, and it's having co-op is a huge feature to it. I think it's one of the most defining co-op games I've played as a child, and I think co-op games had a big impact on me as a child. I think in turn, it's also why I kind of preferred a lot of the 2D Sonic games over the 2D Mario games, because you could play co-op straight away for it. So, I'm kind of hoping Sonic Mania has co-op much like Sonic the Hedgehog 3. That'd be a wonderful thing to see. Okay, I'm going to first try out my Jasmine Tea before moving on to honourable mentions. Not a huge fan of the taste. It's very bitter. The aftertaste is actually better than the initial taste. Very bitter trying it at first. Maybe I shouldn't have had it in for 3 minutes, just 2 then. Brewing, I mean. Should have had it brewed for only 2 minutes. But it's got a very nice aftertaste. I'm just not a fan of the initial taste. I think this might actually work better with milk, because I feel milk tends to smooth out the initial taste a lot, whilst allowing some of the flavour to retain afterwards. Yeah, not a fan as the Jasmine Tea greets my tongue, but a big fan of it afterwards. It also makes my mouth smell really nice, because this Jasmine Tea just smells so wonderful. Anyway, before I move on to number 1 for this video that I was wanting to have as 15 minutes, but is now going to go over 25 minutes, honourable mentions include Sonic & Knuckles, because One, because of its standard gameplay, which is pretty darn wonderful, but also because it's the adapter piece, and you can use it with Sonic the Hedgehog 2 and 3, and I believe even Sonic the Hedgehog 1. I remember being able to access some sort of minigame by attaching Sonic the Hedgehog 1 to it. But it has like the best feature of Sonic the Hedgehog 3, and a really cool feature of being able to play as Knuckles in Sonic the Hedgehog 2 by putting Sonic the Hedgehog 2 on it. Sonic Shuffle. People apparently seem to criticise this game a lot. I'm not sure why, because I absolutely loved Sonic Shuffle. I'd say it's like third or fourth favourite party game. It's a lot better than a lot of the Mario Party games. I'd say there's only like one or two which I'd say are better. Mainly because just navigating the board is absolutely wonderful. It's so much better than a dice roll using the cards, and there's a lot of strategy to it. And I loved how the cards popped up on the VMU, and I loved being able to steal my opponent's cards. That is something glorious, really. And the other game is Sonic Drift 2 for the Game Gear. I played it through the Sonic Gems collection, and for some reason I absolutely love it to bits. I'm not 100% sure why, but it's one of my favourite racing games. I think it's probably my favourite handheld racing game, just above the Super Mario Kart racing game for the Game Boy Advance. But actually, I really like Sonic Drift 2. There was just something really enjoyable about it, and I can't really pin down the exact reasons why. It was just fun. And I guess that's really all that matters. Like, you can have as numerous reasons why you like a game, but the key factor is it fun? And Sonic Drift 2 kind of struck that. It's just absolute fun. But moving on to then, those are my honourable mentions, which any of them could have easily been my number 6 choice, but I ended up opting for Sonic Advance. But moving on to my number 1 favourite game, my number 1 favourite Sonic game, which you probably all already know if you've followed this channel, because I did an entire playthrough of it along with Rafi for the Grin brothers, and I also mentioned it in my top 12 favourite video games of all time. Sonic Adventure! I'm pretty much just going to count all versions, though I mainly prefer the Dreamcast version because I feel that it controls better on the Dreamcast. The Dreamcast controller just worked wonders for it. Plus, you also have the VMU features for the Chow Garden. If I remember correctly, that was back then as well. Even though I feel that the DX port version did at least improve upon the Chow Garden, I kind of understood it better. But Sonic Adventure, let's see. It's my favourite story in a video game. Primarily because of the way it tells its story. The 6 different character paths, I feel are absolutely glorious. I love that way of telling the story through 6 different perspectives. I love there being 6 different gameplay styles. I love each of the gameplay styles, with my main criticism of the game being that they don't give enough levels for a lot of the gameplay styles. I feel that there wasn't enough big Amy or Tails levels in the game. And when the main criticism you have for the entire game is there isn't enough of it, you want more of it, that's a pretty good criticism to really have. It's like, the game must have done something good if what you want from it is you want more of it. And I love it to bits. The camera's not perfect. It can be a bit glitchy, but I just love Sonic Adventure. I love playing through each of the characters' story modes because of the story perspectives. I love the gameplay. I love the introduction of Chow Garden, even though I don't think it was anywhere near as good as it was in Sonic Adventure 2 at that point. And it was just phenomenal hearing Sonic talk for the first time. That just kind of blew my mind. But yeah, Sonic Adventure is one of my favourite video games. I'd probably say it's like my 3rd favourite video game, 4th favourite video game. It's easily top 12. Yeah, 3rd favourite video game. There's only 2 I'd say above it. And I absolutely love it bits. Easily, without any contest, my favourite Sonic game. So then, what are your favourite Sonic games then? Feel free to share in the comments below. I'll be happy to discuss with you. And feel free to comment on any of my choices and all that. Yeah. So this was just a quick, well, not a quick video. It was supposed to be 15 minutes, but this was my video, sort of, kind of like a celebration of the 25th anniversary of Sonic. So I hope you all enjoyed, and feel free to share your thoughts below, and have a good time watching this video and all that. Cheerio, everyone!